Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I'm back to work on this lovely piece inspired by my time with Fleur Woods and her beautiful work, as well as by Freida Kahlo and those beautiful vibrant colours. I started preparing pieces for this at the Fleur Woods retreat and I'm just so enjoying working on it. I probably haven't worked on it now for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I was hoping to do something every week, so I thought it's well and truly time I would take an hour out with you and just continue working on it and showing some different bits and pieces and experimenting, because I know many of you get some value out of that process. So to update you on what I've done since last time, I think we were working on these flowers and we had done some of the stitching up here. I think that might have been as much as we got done then. So what I've done subsequently is I've had the idea that for all these floral pieces around the outside, that I would have just running stitch, cantha stitch flowing through the piece. For the bird, I want it kind of bringing the motion of the bird, so I'll have green come out from there. I've got the pink that I've already done there. You'll see some of my friction marker in blue just in the background, which will disappear with heat, and then I will have this pale blue coming across here, and I'll probably just finish continuing up this purpley pink that I had used, this variegated one from the lovely Wonderful cotton. That's what I was using there, which has sort of purples and pinks in it, which is good because this piece is kind of a bit of a combo of a purple and pink. I'm sitting out in the late afternoon in the garden, so it is, hopefully it's not too dark for you. I don't have any artificial lights on because it's such a lovely day. Blue skies, birds singing, little gentle breeze. It is gorgeous for autumn. So I've been doing that. I also, if you remember, I had a beautiful hole in the doily here and you can see the blanket behind, and what I've done is outlined it in this variegated thread. Again, it's a Wonderful one. I can't see it in my box here, which means it's probably sitting on my desk upstairs. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do beyond that, whether I have some more scattered radiating ones. I'm almost thinking maybe some yellow, but I think it might solve itself, because when I do the stitching that comes through from these, I may well continue it sort of down and through the piece. So we'll see what that wants to do. I've also been working on the flowers. So the original doily had flowers like these with just little small, I think they were just lazy daisy stitches, like anchored down chain stitches, but it looks like maybe they used a different coloured thread at the end of them, which is interesting. So maybe they did the loop with one and then came up and anchored them down with another, not sure. But what I've done with these ones, which were pink ones, but they were fading a bit into the pink over here, is I've outlined them with this beautiful bright blue thread, so 3 strands of that, and I've done a larger just lazy daisy stitch. And the lovely thing is it sort of lifted them up off the piece. I'm not sure if you can see that well, but it sort of raised them up. So I love the way that does that. Even this stitching just gives the fabric a lovely texture and a lovely feel to that. So I've done that for those, and I've done a similar thing for these ones, which were pink, and I have used, it's a rayon. It's a thread that I had secondhand, but it says on it rayon, and so it's got a lovely sheen to it, and again a lovely sort of texture. So I've outlined those pink ones with the pink. These ones down here I'd added my own yellow to in a previous stitching session, and with my hole over here what I did was did a split stitch to make a stem, and then I've whipped that split stitch, and I was using this variegated thread, which I think might be one I've dyed myself, or it could be a cottage garden one. It's kind of good. I can't even always tell the difference between the cottage garden ones and my own dyed ones. So I thought the first thing we might do is do some stitching into this bird, and I was thinking I might use a chain stitch to fill in the bird, and maybe use this lovely, let's just have a look how this would look. It's got various colours in it, so it's got a bit of variegation, and I think it would be a nice lighter colour to fill it in, because I still want the outline to be quite bold, but I quite like putting feathers on my little birds. I think it will still go with the embroidery stitches that are there. So I'll just take that, get my lovely little pin cushion from the lovely Chris. Hello Chris, if you're watching. And happy Easter to everyone, and a massive thank you to everyone for all your support on my channel. I reached what is an incredible to me milestone of 10,000 subscribers. I still, like, I kind of say it and it doesn't quite sound right. I still remember when I had 10 subscribers, and that was pretty amazing in and of itself. But to have, and Travis has just come to join us. I won't move the camera because it'll probably mess everything up, but Travis says hello. He is sitting next to me. He's going to probably put his head on my lap and say mum. But we did just come back from a walk, so he can't possibly, and a river swim twice. Instead, he's just going to eat some grass. If you can hear any grass chewing sounds, that would be our lovely Travis. But yeah, 10,000 subscribers is just amazing, and as you all know, well, I hope you all know, for me it's the community we have here, and it's the chats we have, and it's the support we provide to each other that just means the world to me. So thank you so very much for all your support and your friendship. And so I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do, but I may as well mention it now. I will do a bespoke slow stitchy pack for a lucky viewer. Now, it will need to be someone who I have seen sort of as a regular commenter, etc., because I do want to use this as a way to thank someone from the channel. So I will draw out someone, and as long as your name is your YouTube name is familiar as someone that has interacted with the channel, and in fact YouTube tells us that when we look at a comment anyway, I will create a bespoke slow stitch pack for you and send it to you. So if you would like to be considered for that, all you need to do is pop a comment below this video. And what will I get you to say? Let's say the word happy in the comment. Or is happy? Yeah, let's go with happy. The world needs more happiness, so let's go with happy. So include happy in the comment below the video, and I will draw someone out, and as long as they're a name of someone that has left other comments on the video, then you will be in the draw, and I'll make contact with you. So what I will do after the draw closes, I'll leave it open for the next week. So this will be going up hopefully tonight, which is Wednesday, so leave it up to the following Wednesday evening Australian time, and then I'll use one of the random draw things or random number generator. Sometimes I do it that way, and I will enter and pull someone lucky out, and then I'll post a comment below your comment on this video asking you to get in contact with me at my email address. But only act on any comments from me that are genuine with my YouTube name, and I won't be putting giveaway or anything in the title of this video. I might say thank you for my subscribers, something like that, or I might just be silent on that, and just those of you who are actually watching this video, ideally you're the ones that will get the opportunity to have a lovely little pack put together by me of goodies that you might be able to use in your slow stitching, because I much prefer to kind of get in contact with someone, understand what they would like or use, and then that way, yeah, you're kind of sending someone something that they can make good use of. And I do love sending out packages, and I do have plenty to share. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. I started the video thinking, oh yeah, I should do something, should do the thank yous in this, and then I thought, yeah, why not? Let's just do a giveaway as well. So that's the first row of chain stitch. Do I need to? I think I do prefer doing it from the top, so I might just anchor that off there and then go back up to the top. Oops. It's a funny needle I'm using. It's almost got an angular top. I've got all sorts of random needles. I just tend to pick up whatever comes out of the needle thing that looks like it's got an eye of about the right size. but it is doing a good job, so I'll keep using it. It's almost, see, can you see it's almost got like a javelin shape on the end. You'll be laughing, Linda. You always call my bigger needles my javelins. So I'll come up here and do another, maybe I'll start on this side actually, on the other side. Travel my way down. So with chain stitch, you're just popping up and then you're always putting the thread under the tip of your needle so that you create a loop. And popping through, going forward a little bit and popping out with your needle and then coming up through your loop. So that's a chain stitch, and I do think it makes a good set of feathers. I often use it for my bird feathers. Normally it's my own sort of bird from scratch, but in this case I'm using a vintage embroidery and adding my own to it, which I think is a lovely way to sort of honour the doilies. And I love that this is one that did have a hole in it, which for some people they'd look at and go, oh, I don't want that doily, it's got a hole. But for me that just added to the charm, particularly in a place like this where you can actually make that hole something significant. It's funny though, the hole's actually risen up from the fabric by the fact that I did the stitching around it, so it's always interesting how the fabric behaves depending on the stitching. Yeah, I think this colouring of the feathers will work. It's not going to overwhelm the bird. And again, I'm wanting to keep the sort of brightness and lightness in this piece as well. Oops. And so yeah, we'll come and do some stitch doodling soon, as my friend Sally calls it, which I know other folks do call it that as well, but Sally from Dotty B Vintage. And I've drawn some little flowers and other things to extend the existing flowers. Even these ones that I've done up here, they were extending the existing flower up. I'm to the end, aren't I? Yep. So I'll just tie that off again. Might need to re-thread my needle as well, I think. Keep that thread for my orts jar. So I'll get the body of the bird filled in. Whether we do the whole bird, we'll see how we're going for time. We probably can do the whole bird. It's not huge, is it? And so yeah, we had a lovely Easter. I had my nephew from Western Australia over, so that's about like a 4-hour flight away. It's where my other lovely friend Christy lives in Western Australia as well. Hello, Christy. And yeah, Bailey was over for Easter, staying with Alex and I and Travis, which was lovely. So we had lots of beautiful outings, had family Easter hosted here as well, which was lovely. Lots feaster, as we call it, lots of food, lots of feasting. And yeah, we took Bailey out to the Berwick Easter Fair, to the old Berwick Cheese Factory, to Science Works, to the Dandenong Rangers. Bailey came and saw my artwork as well with Mum and Dad, which was nice. Bailey actually picked it, so he knows me well. Mum and Dad were looking around, but Bailey's like, is that yours? Yep, that's mine. He knows that I enjoy my stitching. So that's my Fibre piece that's on display, and I've just sent off my piece for the Incognito art show, so that's very exciting. I've made the video, but I can't show the video until they've revealed the artists as part of the Incognito art show. So all I can say is I have a piece in it, but I can't tell you which piece. So I think those pieces need to be with them by the 1st of May. So I got that posted off, was it yesterday, day before? And I've made a video sharing it and the thinking behind it. and some of the techniques I used in it. So it's I think, as I said in the video, it's sort of like combining of different techniques, as you know I love to do, and just sort of, yeah, doing them in sometimes in a different way. So what I'm doing here, where I've got some of the lovely embroideries, I'm just sort of not doing my chain stitches over the top of it. I'm just stopping it and then jumping forward and then doing another chain stitch. So I'm actually anchoring down a chain stitch and then popping to the back and then sort of jumping forward, just so I keep those lovely original details in the bird. I mean, you could go over them if you wanted to, but I just think it's going to be nice to just have those little details there. Come over here and do another stitch and then anchor it down. Alex is wandering around the backyard. He's making silly shapes with his posing. There's a funny movie, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about these, it's got some like the old actors in it, and they basically go about they're security guards at a art gallery or a museum. And then what's happening? I think they're moving away they're going to be moving one of the works that one of the security guards absolutely loves. So they all band together to help him steal the artwork, and it's just full of lots of silly funny moments. But it's very well done. Is it called The Heist? Maybe you'd have to look it up. But yeah, it's a sort of a funny one, and there's this one guy that loves the sculpture, and he poses nude in it with a particular pose with his leg up and his arm forward. And so Alex sometimes, because he loves that particular movie, will make that pose not naked, thankfully in the backyard, just does the pose. Now I'm going to do a very small little chain stitch here, and then I'll just duck down to the back because I don't want to obliterate the eye of the bird either. I'll probably have to come in and put another little eye stitch in anyway, but I'll continue down this way. So yeah, Alex was doing the balancing pose from that movie. We just both randomly do it when we're out and about. Always makes us laugh. So if you celebrate Easter, did you have a lovely Easter? Did you eat lots of yummy food? I'm not a huge chocolate person, but I do love the savoury. So we had a beautiful spread of cheeses and dips and breads and all the savoury things. Lots of lovely little warm nibbly things as well. And we've learnt not to have a main course, so we have all those lovely things, and then we have desserts. So we had ice creams with all sorts of different lollies to top and wafers and all sorts of yummy things, so we could make our own ice cream sundaes. And that was a hit, with some fruits as well. And it's just lovely that everyone can get together, and on Alex's side of the family and my side of the family, and that Bailey got to be with us, and we had an Easter egg hunt for Bailey. Even though he's 14, he still enjoyed that. And I think poor Travis, who's now looking up at the table up here, I think he's missing his buddy Bailey, aren't you, Travis? He would jump up on the couch and give Bailey lots and lots of kisses. And in the morning he would go to Bailey's door to have a sniff at the door to make sure Bailey was there. He was probably quite sad this morning when he went to the door, and Bailey had headed off home, back on the plane, back to Western Australia. But no, it's really nice that my nephews and niece will be able to come over in school holidays and come visit. And now Travis has got his little plastic football, which he's going to play with. He's now kicked it under the table. I don't know if he did that on purpose so that I would have to play with him. I'll see if I can kick it back out from under the table. Hang on, I might just need to grab it for him. He's just looking at me going, Mum, I want my football. This is what happens in the live stitching hour. We play a bit of dog football. There you go, Travis, go. So you're going to get some sound effects of dog playing with the football. he's clearly thrown me off my stitching but that's okay. He's a funny boy. He's got his soccer ball as well. He's decided that you need the full sporting. He obviously decided that my stitching was a bit dull, so that he would give you the full sporting experience. He's now got his soccer ball. He's going to try and chew it. Hopefully he doesn't pop it with his teeth. I did take him down for a big walk at Acuna Park and a big swim in the river twice. Decided he wanted a second swim today. Whereas normally I would take him out about 4, but I'd taken him earlier. Now I know why I don't go out early. There was a huge queue of it. Must have been parents picking up their kids from one of the private schools near there. But luckily my car was going the other way. It's just I had to cross a sort of a lane of all of them lined up, and I couldn't quite see the cars coming in the other direction, which is never that much fun, but I managed to get out. And I'll just come in. I didn't tie off at that case because I'm just going a small distance. I just want to put some more little chain stitches in the centre here. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how these are looking. I can almost not see where my chains are because they are almost meeting up in the centre, but I know there's a bit of a gap, so I do just want to fill it in. I'll make sure I stay on camera. Just tap the camera as well to make sure you can see. So I think that's pretty good for there. I seem to have a little loop. What's caused that little loop there? Have I got a notch or something? Nope, I think that's fixed itself up. So I might jump over here then. And for the wings, Christine, not leaves. I'm just thinking I probably want the feathers sort of angling down that way. So again, I'll just put some chain stitches in. One in here, and then I'll anchor that one down. So I'll anchor that down at the end because I want to then leave the other embroidery showing that's in the middle there, and then I'll put another one down here. Oops, and unthread the needle in the process, but that's okay. I do love all embroideries with birds. I think they're very popular these days. I know whenever I see one online, on any sort of site where people can jump in and say sold on them, there they go very quickly. And they're quite simple to do, the bird embroideries actually. I'll definitely have to do some more out of my Semco and other embroidery transfer stash, which I am still researching so that I can hopefully share those with you progressively. Another one angled down like that. And I can probably put one down here, can't I? And then I'll just want to put one in the middle there, I think, because there's a bit of a gap. And the great thing with these sort of chain stitches is even if they're not exactly perfectly positioned, it's just that sort of massing effect. It's like when you do a whole row of running stitches, it's the mass that kind of makes it. So even if one's a bit fudgy in positioning or distance or anything like that, it's kind of just the overall effect that combines to look good, which is great because then you don't have to get too finicky about anything. I think I'll probably need to tie off my thread and get some new thread again. It's quite hard pushing through the original embroidery stitching because I think it's been done quite thickly. do 2 knots to be sure. I might switch over to another needle, just a shorter one might help me a little bit. So let's get my trusty, yeah, I might use that one actually. The neighbour's dog is, I think they've gone away on holidays, those poor dogs down there. And I think they hear Travis having fun and they want to be part of it. We've often thought we should just offer to look after them because we don't mind having dogs around. And we'd rather it than dogs being left by themselves while people go on holiday. I mean, someone comes to feed them obviously, but they do on a hot day or something get a bit distressed being just stuck outside and probably no entertainment, no one to play with them. Even when the family's there, I don't think they get anyone sort of, playing with them, not the way that Travis has endless toys and endless opportunities to interact with us and have a game, like we get the soccer ball and the plastic football and kick it around, and he loves it. And when he came back from the river, he was playing, he's sort of running around like a crazy puppy again. He gets a sort of a burst of energy when you give him a dry after he's been in the water. I don't know what it is about dogs and water. It's like they get reborn as puppies. Oops. Just tap the screen again, make sure we're in focus. So I do love the variegated threads for this sort of work, and even for things like stems and flowers, it just adds an extra dimension to it. So here I'm not tying it off because it's really only 2 or 3 stitches at most that I'm doing down the wing, and I like that it's kind of angling. Originally I was thinking I'd go more straight across, but I think this is actually the right direction for the feathers to be hanging. It's amazing to think I'm just at this stage just working on this upper corner, happily able to sort of do a lot of stitching in a small space. But I think that's the charm of these things, is that you do get that lovely stitching. I do still want to keep the sort of the white space around things. Like I don't want to fill in all of the surfaces. I still want to see the original vintage linens underneath as well. So it's probably going to look a bit different to the ones I've seen. Probably more like some of Fleur's, where she's got things a bit more spread, but probably not quite as spread as some of the other examples. So I think it's nice that we can all put our own spin on pieces. And I'd just say that if you are doing something, just go with your sort of eye, go with what you want to create for things, take inspiration, but then feel free to experiment, see what you like. And I think it can vary from piece to piece. It's just, with the beautiful, like some of the linen underneath, all of the linens underneath these pieces, they're beautiful pieces, and I think it's nice that it still has that connection to the original creators. I do see this as a collaborative piece because it's got the embroideries that others created. I mean, I'd love to think of someone up there. Travis has come out to play some more soccer. I'd love to think of someone up there somewhere floating around, maybe watching Travis and I in the backyard right now from the sky above, and thinking, isn't it wonderful that that someone's working on my bird. Throw the ball for Travis. There you go, Travis. Go. No, Travis. No. No, we're not going to play that game. No. Just go take Travis. Okay, I am back. Had to tell Travis that no, we're not going to play barking ball games. I think he just thought that it was all on. Poor Travis, he just wanted some mummy attention. It's funny, he'll just stare at you and then he'll go grrr, and then there'll be a few barks. He's like, Mum, play. I think more he's probably stirring me up thinking it's getting close to, I think it's probably still half an hour until dinner time for Travis, but being a Labrador, he's always thinking about his stomach. Anchor that one down. Oops, I've ended up with another one forming from a knot, which I don't really want there, so we'll see if we can get that knot out. Yes, we can. Okay, so that's that wing done, so I'll tie that off and we'll do the other wing, and then we'll do some stitch doodling of the flowers, I think, just to keep the interest for you, give you different ideas, different things to do. I do love this blanket that's on the back. It was so nice to get some more Waverley Mills blankets as part of my Easter package. Yep, other way. So I think I'll start here. So yeah, if you have a bird doily and you want to add some additional detail to it, have a think about doing some chain stitches or detached lazy daisy if you've got lots of outlining already in the centre. And yeah, I think it does work well using a lighter variegated thread. Or you could just come in and use some different, do some detached lazy daisies and use some different coloured threads if you didn't have a variegated one. You can kind of mock up your own variegated, or you can have a go at dyeing your own threads as well. I think I will be doing some upcoming dyeing of some lace and other fabric pieces, and probably some threads as well, for a piece I'm going to be doing for the Southeastern Contemporary Art Network for their, I think it's now a June show, Beatlemania. So I've picked my Beatles song that's going to be my inspiration for the piece, and I've got a texture piece planned, which I will share the process with. I've got some fun ideas for it. So I think the first step will be to dye some things so that I've got some materials in the right colour. So we'll sort of talk colour scheme for that. So stay tuned. That will probably be the next video after this one, in a day or two, but hopefully I'll get onto it tomorrow because I've got this week off from work. As I mentioned, I hadn't been doing much stitching or much sort of arty things. Well, Bailey was here, just spending lovely family time instead, and so yeah, it'll be nice just to get stuck back into the arting. And Alex is still working this week, so we can't do sort of family day trips. Although we've got, everyone has Anzac Day this Friday as a day off, but I think it might be rainy, I'm not sure. I do believe the Embroiderers Guild is having a de-stash market on Friday, I think in the afternoon as well, but I'm not sure I should go because I've got quite a stash already. I'm getting to that point where I think unless there's something like really special that I see or something that I want to use in an actual planned project, I think I've got enough other stash. I have just got some lovely glass buttons. A seller on one of the Facebook groups had some beautiful glass buttons that she was de-stashing, so I bought just some little beautiful items as part of that, because I do love glass buttons. I don't have many of them, so I figured that fitted the category of something that's, yeah, was sort of a once only, because yeah, she obviously had an amazing collection of just absolutely stunning buttons. I don't know how she's parting with them, but I suppose people get to a point in their life where either they don't have the space for all their collections, or they just want to pass their collections on to someone else that will cherish them. So you'll have to stay tuned for those in a future video as well, although I think she's still destashing, so she's holding my bundle in case there's anything else I want. Just add one more stitch into there, and then I think we're done on our feathers, and then I think I'll just come back in and do the bird's eye, perhaps. That was my knot when I created it at the end. I should have really made that a bit neater, but never mind. I can always just stitch that down. It's all part of the piece, I suppose. That's the dog down in there. That's not Travis on this occasion. Travis has been taken inside by Alex. Now, I think, yeah, we definitely need to do the eye of the bird. I think I might use... Will I use that one? I've actually got a bit of that up here, which I was using before on my other flowers. So, let's give that a go. Where did I stuck my needle into somewhere. There it is. So this is just 3 strands of just a regular embroidery thread. Where was the eye? The eye was about there, wasn't it? I don't know. Right, I might not do a... Normally I'd do a French knot, but I think I'll just do some little stitches over. Almost like a little granitos or something. Stitch. Sometimes when you do the French knot, it just looks a bit too bobbly, almost a bit comic-like. Yes, I think that probably does the job quite well. Maybe I'll do one more stitch just to make sure it stands out enough. Just enough. There we go. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's still got this little beak, which is great. And so what I can show you while I've got this thread is I can show you how I'm then planning to come back and do the stitching sort of down in the shapes I've drawn on with my friction marker, and then I can just make my way down. And again, you don't have to totally stick to where your friction marker. I was really just sort of putting in the shape that I wanted to form, but I want it to look like the sort of, yeah, the bird. It's the bird kind of making these colours come out with its flight path. So that's why I wanted them sort of curving out from the bird. So I think with these pieces, yeah, when you're doing that sort of stitch doodling to work out where you're going to put your stitches, just think about what's the movement, what do you want to evoke with your stitches. And for me, it definitely does help to draw them rather than just trying to eyeball and keep it all in my head. If it's drawn on there, it just makes it's almost like stitching something that's been sort of created for you. You can really relax into the stitching then. You're not trying to kind of judge everything as you go. It's really like having your own passion that you've kind of created, and then that's guiding your stitching. And don't worry if it doesn't, like, you might then kind of just do something a bit higher or a bit lower. You don't have to totally stick to it, but it just gives you a bit of a guide. As you can see, I think I started with smaller stitches over here. They've got slightly bigger here, but again, I don't think that's a problem. Or I could just make that the thing that I do everywhere. but I probably won't. I'll probably just see what I want to do. So I'll continue that, but I won't do that because we have done this sort of stitching in a previous episode, but at least that gives you an idea. That would then just continue all the way up to the pink, but I'll tie that off for now so that we can then have a look at our stitch doodling and extending out our existing flowers and stems. So I'll keep that thread because I can use that again. Put my needle back into my little pin cushion. So what you can see here is this is the original stem coming up here and the original stem that came up to here. What I've done up here is drawn my own flowers in and stitched them. Well, actually that one was original, but these two I've drawn in, and I've got a stem there that I'll need to come in and do. And I think I'll do just a split stitch. I think this is a split stitch, or it might be the one where you kind of do them next to each other, which I've forgotten the name of. But what I've come in with my friction pen that erases with heat, and drawn some more little 8-petaled flowers. Now not all of them are perfectly even, and even with these ones I ended up just doing them slightly different than how I'd drawn them, which won't be a problem at all. And yeah, some of them are, like you can see on the original, they're incomplete, like they don't do all the petals, but you can just really do it as you please. Some of them have like 3 little knots in the center in the original, so it gives you scope to just tweak it. So I've drawn another one at the end of this because I thought, oh yeah, wouldn't it be lovely to have another little flower here. So I could, will I do that one with you just to show you the method? Yeah, I can do that. And I think, yeah, we'll do that as another blue one. So I can use the blue thread that I just unthreaded. Hopefully there'll be enough there to do the flower. Actually, I might get another piece because I do think that will be running a bit low. Let's just take that one off. How many pieces is in this? 3 is in that, but that's still quite short. So just get a longer piece. Cool. Split it into 3. That's 4. That's 3. Or is that 2? What have I done there? Nope, I've only got 2 there. Hang on. Go from the other end. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it wants to split easily, sometimes it doesn't. I'll just go actually from the other end because that end's getting tangled. I know some people pull them out individually and then reassemble them. I tend to do it this way, as long as you kind of just take it easy and just let it sort of detangle as you go down the piece. Feels like it's got a tiny tangle there, but I'm sure we'll be able to get to the end. Okay, cool. Get our 3 pieces threaded, straighten out our thread, put a knot in the end. There we go, knot, and then we will come in and we'll do our little flower. So again, it's going to be like our lazy daisy, but we're just going to do little detached ones coming out from the center. So again, just coming forward through the loop, forming a loop, and then anchoring it down back through approximately the same hole that came up through. I'll do each of the sort of the 4 points and then I'll come back and fill in. Oops, where's my, yep, that point there. Is that what I wanted? Yes. And I should be leaving a bit more of a gap in the centre for a a stamen. Oops, what did I do there? Just did that very strangely, didn't I? Yes, because I didn't actually form my loop properly. Hang on, let's just do that again. Concentrating, Christine. So in fact, I might just, because I do want to have a gap in the centre. Oops, and what's happening on the back there? So this might be one where I'll just redraw my flower just to give it a bit more space, I think. So I've got that flower there, but I want to then have these petals just coming out just that little bit further out than they are. And that's what I was saying before, that you can just kind of, even if you draw a design on, you can then improvise. If it's not quite hitting the way that you want it to, you can just improvise it. Go and get all those lovely bird calls of the end of the day. So I'm just going to work backwards. Anchoring it down. I actually think this is a slightly different blue than what I had there, but that's a-okay. It was actually one from a skein that I was using for the other flowers, but I don't mind that because I kind of like things in threes anyway, so having a slightly different colour is a nice differentiation. And isn't that the way with flowers anyway? They start out brighter and then sometimes they'll fade, or they might change colour a bit as they go through their cycle. It's that whole idea that we're not wanting to make these look like they've been made by a factory. We want it to very much look like it was done by hand. You kind of hope someone might look at this in years to come and realise, oh yeah, it has vintage embroideries. Well, by then, who knows, my stitching could be vintage. That's a funny thought. But looking at it and knowing that it's got sort of, maybe 100 years in difference between the stitchers who've worked on it. And the very neat stitching on the back of some of the doilies, and then the messier, more modern stitching on the back of the blanket. It's a funny thought. You might be creating something that's becomes a mystery for someone else to solve. When was it created? What was it created for? So there's a flower, and I don't even mind that some of the petals are longer. Again, I just think that adds to the charm of it. We need to give that one a centre. Down there. So we'll want to use a nice yellow, I think, for the centre. I was wondering if any of my other centres need a bit of picking out as well. It's funny, even with the old embroideries, I'm doing so much sort of work into them. It's it is definitely becoming a collaboration. It's not just like a piece where I've put lots of old embroideries on, but it's definitely got a lot of my own touches. So I'll do a French knot, I think, because I don't mind the bobbliness. I might even do 2 wraps. Hold it tight as I pull it through. That's the key with a French knot, unless you want it to be all loose. Yeah, that's a nice centre. And I think I'll come in and add some more pronounced centres to these ones too. Oops, double. Let's quite hard to pull through some of the old embroidery. It's, as I say, they must have done like multiple stitches over the top of each other. So I don't think these ones they did as French knot centres. So I'll just put that a bit further over. I probably shouldn't jump my thread all the way down there, but that's okay. I'll always be able to stitch something down on the back if it's sort of too trailing. Yeah, so I think that looks lovely. So we'll then do a bit more stitch doodling of the flowers further over maybe. Oops. Oops, there's my needle. Might need my needle. Definitely don't want to lose it on the ground in the backyard. So yeah, I'll just kind of show you with this, and we'll just look whether we need to kind of rejig them. So what I did was just basically drew up from an area that I wanted to fill in, and then drew my flowers. Now it's easiest to do like the cross first of all, and then come in and fill in between. If you're wanting to do an 8-petaled flower, sort of do a cross and then fill in those bits in between. And then similar things over here, do the cross and then fill it in. And then likewise here, come up. And I think I only worked out about doing the cross part way through, because some of these are a little bit wonky in terms of their layouts. I will probably sort of redraw over them before I stitch them like I'm doing here, just there's a plane going overhead. But if I wanted to like bring one down here, let's just do one, and I could probably just do maybe 2. So I might do, how do I want to do it? Like that, and then I could do another one. Probably actually just like that. And likewise, I can come in and add more. If I wanted one to come out from here, I could sort of have another one come out here and just sort of do one like that. And likewise, if I want to have one come up here, have one like that. One could come out here. And you could have another one come up here as well, like that. So that way I can have another 2 in this sort of blue colour down there. And then where I have these existing ones, I'll show you just how I'm then, I mean it's really the same actually, that I'm just doing the stitching around the outside. I might actually leave the stitching of these ones until I've worked out what colours are going to be passing through, because one of the things I want to do is always sort of create that contrast. That's why these ones which are going to be with the blue, I don't want them to be done in a blue colour, because they'll have the blue thread coming through them. So that's why the pink works, that's why the blue works down here, because these will all have the pinky purpley colour. So I probably need to wait to see what colours are going to be over there before I decide what I'm going to do over these ones, or if in fact they even need this over stitching done on them. If it's not going to have blue coming through it, then it is probably going to be a-okay like that. But it will just depend. I think I probably will end up bringing the lines of the stitching up through the piece, although if I have the pinks coming down from there, I guess they might just meet in a central location, or maybe they all end up going up to this sort of spot, and that's where the 2 of them at this centre area they mix together. So we'll have to have a think, or maybe something happens in this area that's a bit different. So I'll have a ponder on that, but hopefully that's given you some fun ideas. Oh, maybe we'll just have a go at doing some of the stem, because we can definitely do some stem stitching. Just wondering what colour. I've got this beautiful variegated one from the retreat. They normally say pull from the bottom, but there's the one to pull from the bottom, and they will come out better if you pull from the bottom. Oops, we don't need our yellow. So, do we think? I think maybe 2. No, I'll go 3. Go 3 strands. Just 3 strands should be fine. And this has a bit more darker in it than the thread, although this one has the dark down on those leaves down there, so I think it will actually work well together. Maybe I'll use a finer needle as well. Is this my funny shaped one? No. Oops. Yeah, let's actually I'll put this end up there. And we'll just do a few minutes. We've still got a little bit of time left in our hour of stitching, even with the Travis barking. So maybe I'll just come out here and bring the stitching up here. So that's actually a very good matching colour. So I'm just trying to have a look how I want to emulate the stitching, or do I want to do a split stitch? But I think I'll do the stitching where you just start from next to it and then just go a little bit forward. As I say, I've just forgotten what it's called, but I know it by eye. That's why I have my dictionary of stitches, which I can refer back to and go, that's what it's called. I was listening on the radio as I drove today, and they were talking about the importance of not always having all the answers and actually deferring to others. And they were saying some kids these days are always thinking they always have to have all the answers in class, and so they just kind of then don't reach out and ask questions, or they don't want to seem silly, so they just won't ask about something and have that sort of sense of curiosity. But as you know with me, I'm always happy to say, I don't know something, I've forgotten that, or I know that stitch but I don't know what it's called. Maybe it is stem stitch. Is it stem stitch, this one that's good for stems? Could be. There's a bit of breeze whipping up. Got washing on the line, which is good. Washed all of Bailey's bedding, make everything fresh in the spare room again. Now that the spare room's all properly cleared out, can have visitors, which is good. So I'll do another bit of stem coming up from here to the other flower. I think, again, you can just make it up as you go, really. It's no right or wrong, which we love. You can hear Alex chopping away in the kitchen, making Travis's veggies for dinner. I think we're going to have some chicken and vegetable soup, because I got some chicken for lunch today, roast chicken from the delicatessen, and I used the bones to make a stock, so I think I'll turn that into a nice veggie soup, because of the evening cool. That's the lovely thing about autumn, is that it's cool mornings, cool evenings, even when the days are quite warm and lovely. And so the evening cool is setting in, so I think it will be a soup evening. Put some pasta or something in it as well. Got some nice freshly baked bread too, and that will be a yummy dinner. So there we go. That is, I'm pretty sure that is a good rendition of what the stitching that was already there. In fact, it almost blends in, and that thread colour is really fabulous. But I love that it's just got a little bit of difference in it. So I hope you enjoyed seeing Mr. Bird get done, and hopefully that's given you an idea. I'll definitely be doing more birds like that. I'll stitch out some of my own. I can even trace this design, I think, and emulate it. And then, the flowers, the French knots, the stitching, and thinking about the sort of the shapes that you want to create with your piece. thank you so much for watching, and thank you again for all of your support. I'm just absolutely stunned about the 10,000, and for me it's the friendships, and I just value those so much. So thank you, lovely folks. Bye everyone.